Hear me? Welcome to the live stream. Excited to be back with you all here on YouTube. Talking today about a very important topic and theme for those on the spiritual path. Discussing what is holding us back from living out our highest vision, our highest timeline, living our purpose, living our dharma. Right? What are these themes that seem to be super prevalent for many of us stepping into these roles in this lifetime? I'm really hopeful to hear your feedback as well. I would love to hear from you guys here about what it is that you feel is your answer for this question. Hi Dina, thank you for joining. Yeah, you're gonna see this is a huge theme. You're not alone in that. Mentioning lack of confidence, right? Hi, welcome, Kelso. Great to have you here. Please say hi and let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Always love doing the live streams for this reason. Hello. Welcome in. So yes, let's talk about it. Hopefully, sorry if that was making noise. Let's talk about what it is that holds us back from living our highest vision. There are a few really common themes here that I have seen not only, of course, through my own life experience over the last 10 years, but also what I have seen time and time again with my clients and with my students over the years of coaching, over the years of practicing Ayurvedic medicine, and over this past year of teaching my program, Dharma Keeler Mastery. Hello, Sydney. Hi, Nikos from Greece. Awesome. Thanks for joining, everybody. So, common themes I have seen amongst all of us, all of this community, is that particularly as we seek to step into a higher purpose for our life, right? Really liberate ourselves from the norm, from the mainstream, maybe from working for somebody else, becoming our own bosses, or becoming independent financially, emotionally, physically, right? All of these require particular levels up in our consciousness and in our belief system. And there are certain themes that I see really stand out here. One of which somebody already mentioned, a lack of confidence, what I also call as a lack of inner clarity and inner authority. There are so many reasons why we have been conditioned to believe or be told that we need to stay small. How many of you guys have heard about the concept of playing small? Has anybody heard about this or resonates with this? It is, in short, a way that society, maybe our parents, other figures of authority, and eventually ourselves, we self-impose this, in adulthood, but have conditioned us to believe that keeping ourselves small, keeping ourselves in a nicely packaged container or box, not stepping into our power, ultimately, is a way to stay safe, right? It's a way to stay safe. Aloha, thank you for joining, Crystal. Yeah, fear and self-doubt is another one for me. And these are all, cousins to each other, right? These themes of a lack of inner authority, of playing small, of self-doubt, a lack of confidence. These all tie to the same concept. So many of us as very highly sensitive beings, I will say, right? A lot of us awakened souls, we come into this world extremely sensitive. In many ways out of place. It feels we're out of place, right? Of this society and this world that we're living in. We can feel very alien to this world, speaking from personal experience. And what we start to do to be able to be accepted by others, to feel we're accepted or to be part of something, and also to avoid conflict, we start to play small. Hi, Jeff, welcome in. And so all these layers start adding on to us, from probably age 5, 6, 7 years old, this begins, maybe even younger for some of us, where we stop expressing. We stop expressing fully who we are. Hello, Kate. Yay, so happy you're here. We start to completely close off, right? We close off our aura, we close off our throat chakra. We start to limit the way we express, the way we communicate, the way we share our truth. And the reason for this is very valid. Oftentimes, as children, we have a threat to maybe our safety, our physical safety, our emotional safety. And so, at that time, it was a survival need for us to learn how to contain ourselves, right? Learn how to play small, learn how to silence ourselves. We learn this from our parents, we learn this in school, we learn this in a myriad of ways, right? So all of this to surmise, right, that there's a lot of work we have to do as we, grow as seekers, spiritual seekers, as healers in the world. Whatever you want to call or not call yourself, it doesn't matter. Somebody who wants to, right, be of service, like so many of you here. Like, I know myself, that's always been in my heart. But what limited that for so long was fear, right? Fear to be seen, to fully be seen, to be judged, right? To stir the pot, to maybe create conflict through sharing my truth. Because the truth is, when we are authentic in who we are and what we share, people will not like us. Some people will love us, some people will not like us. That is just a truth. It's a truth, it's a reality, right? But that used to be so terrifying for me, right? Because again, I learned, just like probably many of you here, that that was a threat, right, to my safety as a child. So I avoided conflict at all costs. I avoided really being authentic in many ways, right? And I didn't realize at the time that's what I was doing. But I had been doing myself such a great disservice, because along that way we lose ourselves, right? Because we're living so much for others, we don't know what our truth is anymore. We don't know what it is that we stop or start doing, along the way. So taking a look at these patterns is so important, guys, because what I see is so many people out there. They'll take a yoga teacher training, they'll become certified in Ayurvedic medicine, and they don't do anything with it. Why is that, right? I talk a lot with my students about this in Dharmic Healer Mastery. Like, why does that happen? It's something so important to look at. And it all ties into the theme here. And that's why I felt like so inspired to share this with you guys here, because I want you all to live your highest timeline, your highest expression in this lifetime, because you would be doing yourself and the world such a disservice by not taking up space, by not shining your light, by not sharing your real thoughts and feelings and voice in the world, by not doing, the work you want to do in the world because of fear, right? Because of playing it safe, right? Because of playing small. And, I think step one, we have to validate where those things come from, right? Hey, Joseph. Yeah, absolutely, right? First, we have to validate where those things are coming from. In order to accept these things, we got to understand them, right? So we need to look at where these patterns are coming from and give with a lot of love and compassion for the child in us, right? That got conditioned to these things, right? We are not bad people for this. You are not a bad person for this. You are not unlovable because of this. Like quite the contrary, right? It makes you human and it makes you relatable, right? So it's not enough to just, yeah, exactly, Shiv. Like, it's not enough to collect knowledge. We have to really do that inner work to chisel away at the self-limiting beliefs that are holding us back in our life, to create a life we've never experienced before, right? To really bring acceptance to those parts of us and then alchemize them, right? Decide how exactly we want to transform them and transmute them and free ourselves. It's a path of liberation, right? It's not a comfortable path because we're looking at things that are really uncomfortable, right? Taking a look at these type of beliefs in us, it's very uncomfortable and it's hard work, and that's why most human beings don't do it. That's what sets you all apart, is that you're taking responsibility, right? To look at those parts of you and to give them love, bring awareness to them, and decide what doesn't serve you anymore, right? Going forward. So the biggest thing, in short, holding you back from living out your highest vision right now, probably has something to do with the concept of playing small, right? Which comes from fear, lack of confidence, self-doubt, all of these things, right? Yeah, it's a wild ride, right? And on the spiritual path, it takes so much courage. It takes so much courage to face these things. So I just want to say, even though, yes, I don't know all of you personally, but I can tell as much as you even being present here and, being willing to listen to this and do the work on yourself, it takes so much courage. So I'm very proud of all of you guys for taking those steps and committing to yourself in this way and committing to whatever your dharma or your service may be in the world. What always motivates me is, my mission, like what I'm here to do. My inner voice can tell me so many times, like, to keep going and playing small so that I don't trigger anyone, that I don't create any conflict, that nobody hates me, that nobody judges me. But then what would I be doing? Who would I be available for? Like, I literally wouldn't be able to be here on YouTube with you guys if I let those patterns run my life, right? It has been such an alchemy process for me to even be on social media for that exact reason, right? Is like you are putting yourself on a platform to be judged by thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And I've seen it all, I've seen it all over the years. But I'm so grateful for it because it's really chiseled me. It's really chiseled me into finally, like, stepping more and more into my power, my authority, my confidence in who I am. And these terms, they sometimes get a bad connotation. But confidence is not pride, is not arrogance. And humbleness is also not self-sabotage. And a lot of times we call something humbleness, but really what it is self-limitation and self-sabotage. And vice versa, we sometimes think that being confident means we're being arrogant, and that couldn't be further from the truth. All it means is we have clarity in ourselves, right? Clarity in who we are and what we're here to do. And that once we get that clarity, we become unshakable. That's the truth. We become unshakable because we're driven by something bigger than us, right? It actually takes the ego out of things because we're big and driven by something larger, you know? On a personal note, I'll share, like, I've been going through a lot of crazy spiritual fire over the last month or two, and I'm so grateful for it because it's really only solidified this same lesson in me, which is why I'm, here as a mirror, just reflecting it for all of you guys too, because I've been going through it also myself in a deeper way. So here we are, and it's something that we have to continuously face as we expand. New levels of this get shown to us, and we get the opportunity to face it with more grace and more love and more clarity and more power, self-empowerment as well, right? Along the way. And this is what really pushed me. Another reason that really sparked my fire to create Dharma Killer Mastery, because it made me so sad to see how many of my friends and peers and clients had done all the work. Like, they've done a lot of work, they have gotten certified in X, Y, and Z, but they're not in practice. They're not, they're feeling still like they have to be stuck in a job that they hate, or living a life that's not ideal for them, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. And so much of it comes back to like this work. And yes, there's so much more to it than what we're talking about here. It gets way more complex and way more nuanced, and it takes time and it takes dedication. But that's why I put this into Dharma Killer Mastery, and it's one of the main pillars of my program right now. So it's been an honor to like get to see already all of the students' transformation over the last 6 weeks or 5 weeks, and that's just the beginning. That's just the very beginning. We have so many more months and so much more self-actualization and clarity and empowerment and learning to do together. But it's a beautiful process, and I think it's something I'm here to also remind you that you don't have to figure it out all alone. That's a mistake I also made for a long time, like too long. Really, like up until recently, I felt I had to figure everything out by myself, whether it was related to my spiritual path or my business or my personal life. There was this hyper independence in me, and to a fault. And I had to take a look at that. And the second I got out of my comfort zone and I reached out for support and I got a coach and I invested in myself in that way, I've seen so much transformation happen in my life, because I had to take that leap of faith on myself, in the same way. And I had to invest in myself, and I had to also receive support. And it's so beneficial for us to have mentorship, to have community along this path, so that we don't have to feel like we're carrying this impossible burden alone, right? We don't have to, you deserve to have support and to have, community there for you. So we are here for you too. We are here for you. Oh, thanks, Kate. That's so sweet. I love to hear it. It has been so cool to just hear and witness everybody throughout the program. It's been so beautiful. Kate is a part of this Dharma Killer Mastery program with me. I'm just scrolling back to the comments. Atlanta, Georgia. Hello. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I'm just looking. If you guys have any questions related to this or anything you wanted to share, any questions about Dharma Killer Mastery, feel free to ask them. I find myself self-sabotaging because I'm afraid to step into my power. Totally. Right, Sydney. And like that's a theme too, is like sometimes we reach a point, and this is what I realized over like last year. I was actually scared. I was actually more scared to be in my power, actually, which sounds funny, but that's how the mind works, right? My mind was so used to, my ego was so used to playing a certain role or identity that it was kind of terrifying to think, what if I started to live way more powerfully? What if I started to live way more successfully? What if I started to like own my roles, And that was daunting to me, for the same reasons we were talking about earlier in this like self-sabotaging or self-limiting beliefs, like trying to keep myself safe or protected from whatever conflict, judgment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? But I couldn't keep living that way, and I didn't want to keep living that way. So I had to break through that deep fear and that discomfort, and and charge into the unknown, right? And that's a huge part of the path, is like facing that constant newness, right? Facing that constant unknown. Yeah, yeah, and then exactly, right? And then, yeah, exactly, the life around you shifts, right? As soon as I did decide to step into that, like, I got to offer this program, and it's something that you guys on YouTube and on my social media community have been asking for years. And I literally wasn't doing it just because of all these self-limiting beliefs I had. Like, truly, that's the real reason. And lo and behold, as soon as I faced that and I shed some of those, I got to, be of service in such a bigger way. Yeah, and my first class sold out and we filled up, and it's just been such a gift, like such a gift each week to get to focus in this container and to like build real in-depth long-term relationships with all of my students, and to get to share Sanatana Dharma and yoga and Ayurveda and Tantra in this, in this learning system and through this experience. So yeah, life always responds to us, right? Always. Let me scroll back here. Oh, thank you, Crystal. Very sweet. What's your DHM program? Mainly japa, mantra, bhakti, karma, or physical yoga, or all the above? Can we heal others also? Mary Chow Blue, the fuse in the room, St. Mary. Yes, so it is a online mentorship and certification school for yoga, Ayurveda, and Tantra, and learning the healing modalities for the mind and emotional body, as well as the spirit or consciousness, how to apply that to self and how to heal others as well, is both part of the program. So yes, we are learning from yoga, traditional yoga, Ayurveda, and Tantra. Yes, we cover japa, mantra, bhakti, and karma actually, in many aspects. Yes. Do you have suggestions for stepping into your independence and finding yourself outside of your family role you played for most of your life? Yeah, I guess what I would say is the place to start, I think, is really honing in on what is your dharma, what is your purpose in this lifetime? Because that's something that drives us and fulfills us deeper than and beyond any outer identity that has been superimposed on us by anyone else. First, we have to find that clarity, right? And that guides us to the ultimate empowerment, because that's when nothing can shake you. You're like, I know what I'm here for, right? Love you, Kate. Thanks for joining. You're like, I know what I'm here for, and I know what I need to do. And nothing ignites fire in you more than that. So I would say, what is that for you? Start discovering that for yourself, you know, is an important process to go through, and focus your energy and attention there. Yeah. Any meditations you recommend to strengthen this self-awareness? Self-inquiry is a very good place to start. Self-inquiry meditations. I love ones by like Ramana Maharishi, the concept of that he presents in the process to do that. I'm also teaching that in a Dharma Keeler Mastery shortly in the next month. It's going to be super fun. Do you think India will become a Hindu country soon? A famous astrologer predicted it will be 2029. I don't know. I don't know. I don't I don't usually try to put my energy and attention in those kind of things, because I don't know. To me, it's like, what's the point? I think it's all about going in, going inwards. But I don't know. I don't have the answer right now. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, but who's to say? We're in a crazy transformative time right now. Every other week, I feel like my entire life is somewhere I did never expect it to be. So who knows, right? Everything is possible. How did you go about marketing yourself to make money online? Um, I don't really feel I have to market myself. I just go about sharing authentically. That's kind of been my methodology since day one. I started my YouTube channel back in 2017 when I was living in India, and I just started to share my life. It was like just all about what I was going through, what I was learning, the crazy life that I was living. And that's kind of just been my methodology from the jump. And I feel that's always been, the strength here, because people can feel that when your authenticity, and people feel connected. And I get to like connect with you guys on such a beautiful, deep level, because because of that, and that's all I would want. I don't care to do it any other way, to be honest. So that's kind of been my main methodology. Any other questions, guys, before I log off? It's been so great chatting with you. And if anyone is interested in Dharma Healer Mastery, I will add the link below. It's also in my link tree on my Instagram, and or you can DM me on Instagram if you'd like to hear more about the program, if you're just interested or curious in learning more, or if you'd like access to my free Tantra Masterclass, please DM me on Instagram at Kundalini Yogini Prasiddha. You'll find me there. The link to my Instagram is also on my YouTube homepage. So please do message me. I would love to chat with you all more about it. Can you share about dating yourself and self-love? I recently left a toxic relationship and I'm starting. Well, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations for that. It's a very hard thing to do, I know. Yeah, I spent the last year, almost year and a half or so, single and dating a little bit, but I haven't been in a relationship. And it's been such a beautiful process for me of committing to myself, committing to my service. I've gotten to do so much more service to others because I've given myself that space, and it's such a journey. It's such a journey. But like I said, I would also recommend you starting there and like putting your energy and attention on what fulfills you, what you're here to do, what brings you joy, and putting your focus on those things is so fundamental, right? It's so fundamental in the process of self-love and self-discovery and all of that, right? I'm a virgin and being shamed by people. How to deal with it? Is sex taboo in Hinduism before marriage? Well, first of all, like I said, when we stand for something, people will always love us and hate us both, right? So it's really ultimately coming to terms, coming to peace with that, right? It's like no matter what you do, people will have a problem. Like it's sad but true, and it doesn't need to be negative, but it does need to be, I think, kind of accepted, right? I had to come to an acceptance of that. So own who you are. If that's really, empowering for you in your truth, you got to own it and don't take people's opinions seriously. There's that phrase, right? Don't take advice from somebody who you don't want to be, right? You don't want to be like, right? So that's important here. That's important here. As per Hinduism, it's not a moral right or wrong thing like it is in the Abrahamic tradition, but generally speaking, it's been recommended to maintain celibacy until 21 as the body and mind is developing, and to give a child a space to really go deep into who they are before they go and engage with someone else's energy. So it's much more about the energetics. That's awesome. Love it. Yes, khichdi recipe. I believe we have one on my company Instagram, Ananda Ayurveda. I think we have one on that page. If we don't, message me and I'll send you the one that I like. Any last questions, guys, before we hop off? Yeah, Dina, I get that, and that's why I was saying you don't have to figure it all out alone. If you're interested in getting support, that's what I do. I'm here for it. So message me on Instagram and we can talk more about that. All right, guys, sending you lots of love. I'm gonna hop off here. It was so great catching up with everybody. By the way, I have a very exciting announcement coming tomorrow and Monday, so please stay tuned on Instagram. Make sure you're following me there. I post a lot more there now, but an exciting announcement happening. So stay tuned. Talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.